Hi Math 6-5. This is the video for lesson 82, which is located on page 431 of your textbook. And the practice problems are located on 432. So this lesson deals with greatest common factor. Let's do a little bit of review before we jump into it. A factor, when we're multiplying, the numbers are multiplying together. Like if I said 3 times 2 equals 6. Your numbers are multiplying together are the factors. So a factor times a factor gives you a product. 6 is your product. 3 and 2 are your factors of 6 in this problem. Okay? So factors are all the numbers that divide evenly into a number with no remainder. For example, if my number was 25 and I was told to list all the factors of it, I would list 1, 5, and 25. And those are the only 3 numbers that go into 25 with no remainder. As bonus review, would 25 be prime or a composite number? That was a lesson we just did also. If we remember, a prime number has only exactly 2 factors. So would 25 be prime or composite? It would be composite. Little side note of review. Okay, so our newer info, which you've probably seen before, but this is a good review piece that's also kind of new, is our greatest common factor. Our greatest common factor is the largest whole number that's a factor of both numbers. Okay, that's the definition. What does that look like in math? Well, let's see. If we're given the problem to find the greatest common factor of 8 and 12, the first thing we have to do is list the factors of 8 and the factors of 12. That's our first step. So the factors of 8, I know are 1, 2, 4, and 8. How do I know that? 1 times 8 is 8, 2 times 4 is 8, and there's no others to multiply to get 8. Okay? Now I have to list my factors of 12. 12 has a few more, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Those are my factors of 12. Now, my definition told me I'm looking for the word is greatest common factor or largest. So I look through and I could circle my common factors here. A 1, a 2, now they have 4, and that looks to be the end of all the factors that are common. And so what would be my greatest common factor? 4 would be my largest. Okay, so if I'm asked to find the greatest common factor of 8 and 12, my answer is 4. We can use that, the greatest, and also just to note, you'll see greatest common factor abbreviated with a capital G, capital C, capital F. Greatest common factor, GCF. You'll see it written like that quite a bit. Okay, so we can use our greatest common factor to reduce fractions. An example is if we're given a fraction 8/20. I treat this just like I did the problem above, and I'm going to write my factors of 8 out, which are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Then I'm going to write my factors of 20 out, which are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Now I'm going to look for my common factors. 1's common, 2's common, 4's common, and that's it. So what is my greatest the greatest of my factors, the largest number that is in both lists of factors? It is 4. So I'm going to use that to reduce my fraction. So I'm going to take my 8 over 20, and that is going to be the number I divide my numerator and my denominator by 4 to make my numerator and denominator smaller. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I can reduce my fraction using the greatest common factor. let's see if, maybe one, let's see. So I'm going to do an example from your lesson with that one. So I'm going to look at, I'm on page 432, 432 is where your practice problems are. And I'm going to look at letter I. Okay. That one is 15 over 100. The instructions are to reduce and then each fraction by their greatest common factor, except it's written GCF. So pay attention to that abbreviation. That means greatest common factor. So I can list out my factors of each number. 15 has 1 and 3 and 5 and 15. 100 has a few more. Let's see, 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. Let's see, it's not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9. 10 is a factor. So we know 10 times 10 is 100. And then, let's see, so 10 times 10, then I think I start going to 5 times 20, 4 times 25, 2 times 50, and 1 times 100. Okay, so now I need to find my common factors. So I have 1, what else do I have? 5, and that's about it. Okay, so 5 is my greatest common factor of 15 and 100. So I'm going to use that to divide my numerator by 5 and my denominator by 5 to reduce my fraction. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So my reduced fraction is 3/20. Okay, so your practice problems are on page 432 for this lesson. Bye, guys.